Recognizing a quorum, I call the regular meeting of the Wareham Housing Authority, July 18, 2018 to order. All rise, shut off your electronic devices, and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call. Gene Cannon present, Ellen Martin present, Bill Walker present, Paul Connolly is present, Jackie Gutierrez administrator present, and we'll go away from the cable TV. First order of business is review and approve regular minutes of the previous meeting. June 27, 2000. Oh, so this is Genesis 20,
Yep.
June 27, 2018.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion is approved by Ms. Cannon. Do
I'll
we have a
second.
second? Second by Ellen Martin. Any further discussion? All in favor? 3, 0, 1. Okay. Motion to authorize the signing of checks and documents that had adequate supporting documentation and appropriate approval by the administrator. Just did. Okay, motion by Ellen Martin, seconded by Gene Cannon. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed, 0, 0. Okay, Ms. Hickey, Administrator's report.
July of 2018, we have 5 vacant units. Unit 12, Unit 51, and Unit 34. The family may take it for a little bit longer and pay the month of July. They did leave some stuff behind, and I do believe that's, so we're gonna actually probably push that one off to July 31st. But those 3 that are in Agawam Village, we are waiting for the asbestos remediation to take place. They're very busy. They just called me, sent an email yesterday. They will be here the first or second week of August. They put in the 10-day notice, so they have 30 days after that to complete it. So they're working diligently. And so once we get that, Unit 51, I'll talk about it a little bit further in the infrastructure report. And then A13 and G13, A13 we're really probably only 2 weeks away from being able to, A13, the family got out a week early, so we were able to go in there a week early and kind of get ahead of the gang. And so we're working on that. Floors are already in, painting's already done. We just have some other, the cabinets are in good shape. So, and some bathroom work and some other minor things that need to be worked on. And then that unit is ready and waiting. And there's a family, a man and his wife, a veteran, that are very happy waiting to get in there. And then G13, we had done a previous unit turnover with them recently. It's a little over 2 years ago, so there's really not a lot that we have to do. Everything's in good shape there. So we have 688 applications on file, and that number seems to be holding on as we are getting more in, these emergency applications in. But, so yeah, and we are working towards going, doing the online, as online portal for our application process. And once that happens, then the diligence that we have to put forth now, they are like going to revamp 760 CMR 5, which is the entire eligibility and application process, and the Code of Massachusetts regulations. They are waiving all of that. So they're having to come up with new things on how to handle the online application portal. Not a lot of questions. I think there's a total of 14 questions on that. They're trying to streamline the process because in the previous, they used to ask for all the information up front, but 5 years down the road, things change and you've moved 4 times, and so you put it on, you get your number, get in the line, and then once you come closer to the top, you are able to vet them out a little bit more deeply and see if they're eligible for the program. Work orders, we had 11 at the end of the outstanding, 35 completed, there's 10 left, but in that 10, there are 4 unit turnovers, 4 deferred work orders, so that's what's out there in the current work order list. On July 2nd, I attended a listening session from DHCD to listen to all the MRVP and AVHP participants on a new program they want to implement, and they first wanted to know what our process was, how we handled the MRVP program, and we sat around basically a roundtable discussion. Listening, it was great to listen to how other housing authorities handle it, so it was nice, and it was actually reaffirming that everybody was pretty much impressed with what we have developed with our Excel spreadsheets and contacting being able to have all of the contact information in hand's length. Hand's grasp. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Sorry. On July 26th, the RCAT, which is the Regional Capital Assistance Program, Advisory Board meets in Taunton Housing Authority at 3:30 p.m. if anybody's interested. On 8/14, the All-American Assisted Living Community, along with other organizations that support the elderly in Wareham, are having a meeting and invited us to attend. The new sales rep, Henry, for CSC Service Works, reached out to us as he had read all of our calls to them regarding the laundry facilities and complaints with their contract and excess fees. They recently gave us a letter saying due to unforeseen circumstances, they're changing their terms of the contract. I do believe they hired a new sales team because when he called me, he said, we are addressing that issue. You can't change what you already have in a contract for. Unfortunately for us, the previous administration signed a 10-year contract, which was ridiculous, but we are held to that contract, and there is nothing short of maybe pursuing it through legal means above us to change that, but we're going to meet in the future very quickly. I think we're not meeting the needs in Redwood. We would like to have 3 stackables where there's washers and dryers. We only have 2 washers and 2 dryers over there for 64 residents. It's just with PCAs, they have difficulty because they'll come over with 2 loads and they have to wait, and it's there's a big bottleneck. Hence, we try to alleviate that by allowing the key code punch, which gives them 24-hour access into that little alcove where the washing machines and dryers are, so somebody can go beyond 6 o'clock, earlier than 8 o'clock. But it's still troublesome for a lot of period of the day where we have a lot of residents that have PCAs and home health aides that come in and do laundry. So he did say that he was going to come take a look to see if they can do this, reduce our fees, and then we can, he said if we'd be willing, and again, this is not in paper yet, some sort of contract negotiation for an extension of a couple more years so they could get paid back on their new equipment.
What year are we in?
We're in, it was in 2000, we had till 20, it was in 12, we have to 20, so we're in year 6. So we're 7, we're eating away. We only have 3 more years, which 3.5 more years, But he was very nice to sit and listen to me, and because I had called repeatedly to the previous sales rep and no avail, and this was again during a takeover. They were one company, now they're CSC, which is always difficult. Really good news, I'm
You
sorry.
lease them from them, is that?
We don't lease them, what we do is we split. We split 60/40.
Split the revenue?
We split the revenue 60/40, we get 60, they get 40, but then they added these new fees, which made it almost 50/50.
But they own the machines.
They own the machines, they take care of them, they
maintain
come
it.
in, you know, one of the contractual things that was done wrong from the get-go was that the contract just said 34 Church Ave. And obviously we have 2 locations, and so when someone had a problem with one of their machines here, they call and they say 57 Sandwich Road, it's not recognized in their system, they're supposed to say 34 Church Ave. To me, I don't understand why that problem can't be fixed. I've tried since I've got here to try to fix it on their end, but I said, you know where to come get your money every month. There has never been a problem. They show up, I told him exactly what he does, and I said, so it's discouraging.
But they service these machines
They
too.
service them too, but they kind of, the poor, you know, our elderly folks, the frustration.
Yeah, so
to
that's
get
gotta
them
be
to get here.
that's a simple, that's a
That's
erroneous
ridiculous.
error.
It is a erroneous error,
So
but
we gotta fix that.
because the contract truly just says 34 Church Ave,
So that we're only down to 34 Church Ave.
that's what I said. That's what I said. We could certainly, you know, get
So
somebody else in here if you want to just continue.
Are they open to revising the contract?
They are open to revising the
To
contract.
modify it so we can accommodate both locations and the offices here and we'll negotiate a contract and extend it
Yeah.
sufficiently so that they don't lose money on the new machines.
Well, Greater Boston Food Bank contacted the Council of Aging and invited us in on a program that they have, a grant food distribution for low-income elderly residents in the town of Wareham. We'll be starting in September / October 2018. Each eligible participant will receive 2 bags of groceries once a month. We will be the delivery spot from the Greater Boston Food Bank to Redwood, and for the town of Wareham as well. Some of the food will need to be distributed amongst the bags, like they get cases of apples and oranges and bananas, and they will just allocate what each bag is required to get. And we do have some volunteers, and one of the greatest things that came from this is we have a food pantry, food handling program that the Greater Boston Food Bank does do, and they're gonna give it to us for free. They're gonna transport the people down to the Barnstable County complex to get them a certificate that would actually like almost serve as a serve safe certificate. Because the serve safe is really for people who handle money and handle food in the public era. We're not public, so to speak, but it would help a lot, and I think that it just is really good because it's gonna help our little mini food pantry here. We have a Monday morning delivery, Church of the Good Shepherd, we share their food bank, they give us excess and stuff that they share with us, it's wonderful.
Do we have enough storage and refrigeration space to handle this stuff?
It will not be, the only stuff that stays on that day, because the Council of Aging will be picking up all of the rest of their bags from us. So it'll be like a drop location only. And then, and the reason, one of the safeguards in this food thing is that the tenant has to sign for their bags. So we will have our people come, sign for the bags, maintenance can bring the ag warm over here, they'll sign for the bags over here, and then the volunteers, the Council of Aging, there will be Council of Aging volunteers here that will be coordinating the other non-Wareham Housing Authority bags out of distribution.
It sounds similar to what the share program used to be. They would drop off bags of food and you would just sort it out.
Yeah, I'm thinking they do something for this on Joint Base Cape Cod out there as well. We've gotten some overflow from them as well, which is really nice because they have perishables like you know, potatoes and fall root vegetables, and sometimes they give us frozen chicken. It's very nice to be able to, I try to kind of grab what anybody's willing to give us to distribute it, and it really goes. I mean, as you can see, this is what's left on Wednesday from our big distribution, and you know, so August 2018 meeting, we'll be voting, just so to keep it in mind, that we'll be voting on the year-end budget certs, top 5 salaries, lead certification, and Tom Joy will be present at that meeting to present that. I have reached out to Laura Taylor concerning our subsidy, trying to reconcile when we will receive it. She's on vacation till the middle of next week. Recently, for communication, there was some negative comments made on Facebook, in the Facebook page Wareham Matters. We, myself, Eleanor and Jean, responded to try to stop some of the misinformation and negative information. I did see last night that Michael Flaherty, who is on the school committee, he said that in the past 2 weeks there have been some, not just ours, but some other really negative stuff out there, and I personally believe that they need to actually take those posts down myself. So maybe, we should reach out to him and ask him to just remove that because it's misinformation and it sits out there. So
Has she called yet?
no,
What does Michael Flaherty get to do with this?
he is the Facebook administrator of the
Of that
Wareham
site.
Matters Facebook
Okay.
page. Yeah, so he'd be the one that would be responsible actually for
To
that.
monitor.
That's what
He's
they're
usually
doing.
pretty good too,
Yeah.
at watching stuff and taking it down.
I mean, it's sad that she doesn't have the information she needs.
It was a woman who.
Now, I didn't see your post. Did you just, I don't know how to do that. Did you just send one directly to her?
Yes, I did. I responded right away to her comment because.
But I mean, that doesn't come up on Wareham
You
Matters.
should have
Yes, it
seen
does.
that.
Did you see it? I didn't.
Yeah, I saw it, I answered it too.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I didn't see yours either.
Yeah,
I've been through it about 15
basically.
times.
You saw
Monica-
Jackie's?
Yeah,
Yeah.
anybody can see your post when you
Yeah.
post it publicly.
Yeah.
Maybe we can go, maybe the last two.
Yeah,
It was a
basically
blanket thing.
roundabout, it was a woman who said that we were never here and we never responded.
And never answer the phone.
And never answered the phone, which I did respond and just tell her the process. Found her file, so she had put in an application with us,
How long ago?
May.
God.
Yeah, May of 2018. And at that point in time, I did tell her that, long story short, we just didn't have any open availability and we still don't have the availability. We, unfortunately, after a lot of commenting and a lot more negativity, she wasn't even talking about Wareham Housing Authority, she was talking about what's at Wareham. So there's just some confusion and a lot of people I do try to correct misinformation. Board members have been in when I have tried and sat down and spoke to people, but the woman's in trauma, she will do whatever she needed to do to get a place, and maybe, probably not the best good choice of judgment on her part, but, so I just wanted to bring that to
Oh, once
everyone's
you get over
attention
there.
for publicly, because Peter Titlebaum and the selectmen do monitor Wareham Matters a lot.
Oh, sure.
They are responding all the time to misinformation and inaccurate information, so I took their lead in that response, but I only did it twice and invited somebody who said, basically, that we weren't doing our job, and I'm like, please come and talk to me, I'd love to go over our process. The other one, I said, call me on Monday, haven't received a call back, I don't know if she's overwhelmed or embarrassed, or who knows what, but she hasn't reached out to us.
But does she have to, that's what I'm confused about. She goes through your office for the paperwork to become a Section 8?
No, it's the MRVP program, the Massachusetts Rental Voucher Program. We have 62 units of, or 63 units of MRVP. So she puts in an application, she put in an emergency application, and it has to be thorough, and it's kind of a lot of work. You have to prove why you're homeless, why you're gonna bump the deli line. I call it a deli line because everybody understands that. When you go to Stop and Shop, you pull your number, you wait in line. You're asking everybody to wait behind as you come in last to why, and so the state does mandate that you provide all the documentation. So, with that being said, it was an incomplete application, and trying to explain to her back in May, this is what I needed, and she brought in something that wasn't what we needed, so.
So you gave her an application to complete or to fill it out, and she never brought it back?
She brought it back incomplete.
But she came here?
She did come here, but she
Okay.
wasn't because part of the process is, when you're an emergency case applicant, you need to go and find a place to live, and it's your responsibility to find a place.
Okay.
That's kind of like this is where DHCD will walk back on an applicant when they start saying things. it is your responsibility to find your housing. And when you're homeless in the shelter system, or any homeless advocate, any homeless person, any person, it's their responsibility. So they have to update, they have to come in, they have to tell us where they're at. I'm moved from shelter to shelter, I'm no longer at this address, I'm at this address. You know, once we start reaching out to them and we can't get in touch with them, we move on to the next eligible applicant.
So I was just trying to figure out, because she was saying she had no idea where the Wareham Housing Authority was.
Right,
Yet she'd been here. But yet
yes.
she talks to someone else in there. This went on for 80
Yeah. I
comments
think
back in
that's
the
what-
Lynchy ones.
This is indicative of why I never go to Facebook.
Yes,
This
and
is
my son
ridiculous.
said, get off Facebook.
But
Yeah.
somebody told her to go to, then she said, oh, that's where I was, at Wareham Woods. I didn't realize she had, so you gave her the form to fill out, she had to bring it back to you, but she never did.
She
What could
did,
she-
but it was incomplete.
Incomplete.
And then you gave it back to her again.
No, we spoke to somebody on her behalf
Okay, okay.
to make sure she
So it's
understood.
out of your hands, basically?
Yeah.
Okay.
Once they, once we've reached out. we
Yeah, I
reach out.
think he needs to right away jump on things like that, because it was really a lot of unnecessary bad publicity for the housing authority, unfairly,
Mhm.
really,
And that concludes
sorry.
my portion of the administrator's report.
Motion to accept the administrator's report.
Second.
Motion made by Bill, seconded by Eleanor. Any further discussion? I was, in the future, when you get something like that, call me up here. I'd like to look at it
Okay.
and make one and only one response. And after that, drop it. Goodbye. See
Right.
you later.
Yes.
Don't call us again.
But it's a very different world though, Bob, because I think that if you saw it, I think if you saw this, it's a very fluid thing. It's not
I've been
it's not a voice and a response only. It's a voice and 97 people
Yeah.
respond to that.
That's
So,
all right.
but
To one and all.
right, but it doesn't, one and all does not, okay, if that's what you want to do,
Anyway,
you
I
do
didn't
that, I don't think
respond, I
that.
actually sent a message to Jackie, because I don't have enough knowledge to even talk about it yet,
Yeah.
I've dealt
even if
with-
I wanted to.
I've dealt with serious situations. Anyway, thank you.
Okay,
All in
infrastructure report. Oh,
Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Infrastructure.
Okay. The sign has been finalized, and we will be installing within 3 to 4 weeks, she said, as soon as it's done. It does take her a while to finish it, and again, they're extremely busy.
What do you mean by finalized?
We finalized the sign,
Signed off on the sign.
You mean the design?
the design.
Gracious. Anyway,
Sorry.
takes so long. How about the post down here that's broken on the corner? What is that gonna be? Where the truck came down, knocked over the ballot?
We
or the
fixed
ballot or
that.
whatever?
We fixed
We
that.
fixed it, but is
We
it,
did.
are we getting anywhere with the people that knocked it down?
Well,
Insurance wise,
Right.
are they doing anything? No.
no, because we didn't submit any claims because we fixed it. It took
I
them
thought
20
you get
minutes.
on the phone with them and they.
We did, and they're
pick it
willing
up
to
and-
pay for it.
So why didn't we
We
send
didn't
them a-
upgrade, because
a
we
bill
just,
for what
we,
it cost us?
I guess we could.
You know, I mean, you just can't let people do that to you. If they owe us money for what we did to repair it, they shouldn't have paid, they dumped it down.
Yeah.
We shouldn't let that stuff go, please, okay?
But it doesn't have to go through, probably doesn't have to go through.
Yeah, they'll just send us a check.
No, they will.
It's gonna be far cheaper for them simply.
Yeah,
to-
they don't want the headaches
Money
of
to
having a
fix.
claim against their drivers and all that stuff. Anyway, next.
We're currently in demo of Unit 51. We have received a date of August, okay, for asbestos remediation. The cabinets have been ordered. The tub bottom piece has been ordered. We're just waiting on that removal of asbestos so we can get the new flooring, get it painted, put in the new, the cabinets are coming very quickly though. I think August 9th was our date that they gave us roughly.
It says August 3rd here.
Does it say 3rd? Then it's August 3rd, I'm sorry.
So do we need to modify the installation date?
No,
No.
that's probably accurate date, I'm sorry.
No, if we,
Whatever I wrote,
if we're
'cause
not being remediated until the 15th.
Right, it's
How are we gonna be able to
because
install
the
it
cabinets
on
are
the third?
not, they're attached to the walls, they're exactly like 21 and 41, they don't touch the floor,
Okay,
none of them. There
and
is,
it's only the floor.
the
that we
ones that are gonna
need-
touch the
we need
floor
to-
are not coming in, they haven't been ordered yet because we can't decide
Okay.
on the type of closet we
got
need
it
to
under
provide.
control then.
We do, but the main kitchen part, they're coming, countertop, the kitchen, the appliances, the stovetop and oven, wall oven, it'll be clear on the bottom. It won't go to the bottom. I did tell Dennis that we should probably make sure that there's no issues with that.
Yeah.
So maybe I misunderstood him too, and so we'll talk about
I got a
that.
feeling it's probably the better part of valor not to put them in there until
I
they're
agree.
done with that.
So roof in building 3 is demolition and reconstruction. Only one panel near the chimney is still needed to be finished, which is this one right over here. It's the only part that has the chimney. And so, but all of the shingles have been moved from both building 5 and building 3. And building 5, they really did a lot today to install the shingles. And a tie back and then installation of the shingles. Building 5 windows have been installed completely and they're working on building 3 today. Unit C13, final walkthrough is on 6/28 before the contractor starts job on July 30th. I'm just gonna run because that might be, I just wanna make sure it's not one of the mobile, modular home people.
Yeah, but we had a truck come in here and knock down the posts as you make the turn. And we fixed it, but it's not a fix, it's a putting it back in the condition it was in before they knocked it over.
Just a temporary fix.
Yeah, so we shouldn't let them knock the hook. We should
No,
just-
no,
I don't,
Was it a tenant or visitor?
no.
No.
No, it was a delivery truck cutting
Oh,
through here.
oh,
So we get on the
good,
phone.
I got it.
We get on the phone with them, I went up to the police department, the lieutenant called them on the phone, and they said, yeah, we'll take care of it, so. You don't wanna let them off the hook, they're just regurgitating the balance, so it's temporarily repaired back to, it's not in the condition, it's new balance down there, so.
No,
Yeah, so we'll get this through something. Okay?
okay,
Thank you.
yeah,
It's not the-
they weren't new though, that's the only thing, they weren't new
Who put them in?
when he hit. Well, they were new 3 years ago when he put them in.
Well, they weren't knocked down and put back up again. They
They
were
had been knocked down once and put back up again.
really.
Yeah, because, I mean, GPS has sent, this is a road, so we went,
He came in and knocked that over, and I don't think that was a second knock over.
no, it was, absolutely was. Steve had, this was previous, Steve had put it back up again. But okay, all right.
Seems to be, but anyway, it's the
Yeah.
guy, so we gotta get it fixed by whoever knocks it down.
Just to refresh everybody's memory, on 6/26/2018, we did speak to Mr. Guy Campino on the sewer, concerning the sewer pump in the pump house. I'm just gonna update you. We got permission, DHCD, I reached out to them. They're having a problem getting a fish number, but they said to go ahead and start the project. They will assign a fish number. Once you get a fish number, you got the money. So we don't have a fish number. He said to go ahead and fix it, submit everything, and he will, they will pay the invoices. Because they can't, because of the new system that they have.
I wonder why it's so hard.
I don't
Your
know.
number, that's why.
Why do they call it fish number? What does that mean?
It's an acronym, and I am not
Okay.
remembering at this
Financial
point.
something or other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they call it fish, so.
So,
But he did say to move forward on the project, and I would feel better if we could. So I did call Mr. Campina today and left a message, I didn't hear back from him. The 2 modular home building areas, I spoke to one, both of them were not able to get me numbers today. One of them had told me that it would be, you know, wing and a prayer if she could come through today, because her bosses were on vacation, and by the time they got back, they weren't gonna be able to do it in 2 days, because they weren't coming back until Monday. So, I spoke to another guy today, he told me he'd get me the numbers tomorrow, so, they were on vacation as well, so I'm just relaying that, and I will get those numbers to you folks as soon as I get them. And
Just emphasize to them, we got a meeting with
I told them.
CPC, so we need some, the best numbers they can come up with by then.
Well, if they don't work that, I mean, I just asked that they get backup, because when we go before the selectmen, they're gonna question us again on money, you know? So you can say, oh,
CPC, yes.
right, we
One or
wanna
the
make
other.
sure
Let's
that,
have it before we go to CPC.
well, August 8th is our CPC meeting.
Huh?
August 8th
Right,
is
we
our
gotta have it by
CPC
then.
meeting. So today, you're coming,
Yeah,
and Bill responded.
yeah.
Eleanor, do you think you'll be there on the 8th? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, we should have the numbers before we go to CPC, so that's the number that then goes forward. And, the best number they can give us. I mean, they, it shouldn't be that hard.
What time
The information.
6 o'clock is their meeting.
he didn't ask for any more. When I
Okay.
spoke to them both, I'm like, I told you I have a meeting today, and they were like, we're sorry, gave me their
All
excuses
right,
and
so
moved
that's
on.
good.
Yeah.
Just
Another
keep-
question
keep on.
just for Bill, because every CPC meeting, they ask, they want us to build more units.
Mm-hmm.
And so but I guess what you said when I asked that originally is we don't have the room for any more units.
You mean
I
more
don't-
than the four?
More than the four. I
Yeah,
wouldn't
they'd
wanna-
like to see 6.
I wouldn't want to try, we can see about it.
Yeah.
I think it might be crowded to try to put 6 in there. If I put 6 on there, but-
Yeah.
and it will fit.
So, so just
We
know,
could.
we have that leeway, they're very, they would, the more the better. I mean, if they thought we had more land, they sound like they'd approve more units.
Oh, we have more land
Yeah, but can we
Where
build
is
on
it?
it?
over here.
Yeah, can we build on the other to the left
So
of
should we
the,
go forward with two options? Option 1 is 4 units, option 2 is 6 units.
We got room for like 12 to 20 units
Oh.
over there.
On this property?
Mhm.
at the
Let's
end?
go for at least, you'll have to tell us what's reasonable to
We go
do
back over
in
there?
one shot. I mean, we just go back
Next
next
to
year.
the old
but-
office? In back where the old office is?
On that side of the road,
Yeah,
up towards the front. Yeah, I don't know if there are any buttons back in there or not. But it looks fairly high there.
yeah, I don't,
Falls off back towards the back. But I would have to get it flagged. See if we can take the shed out here and take a look at it one day.
Because they're very inclusive, the CPC I'm talking about.
But
But they have a backup plan now, so that if you are turned down by the selectmen, they file the warrant a different way. It's I think it's a,
Citizens participation.
yeah, I think that's what, they did it last year and they got some through, so, or in the
Okay.
fall. Good. So it's whether we can afford, whether we have the room.
Well, I would say that's probably set, well, I'll see I'll take another look at the site and see.
Okay.
See if I can.
Yeah, it looks kind of squishy down there, but, and there's nothing in Redwood either. I mean, I guess that's another thought for another day. And I suppose they do this twice a year, so
They do.
I assume what we don't get this year, we could go back in the spring.
Yeah, my understanding is they kind of like to take up the CPC articles in the fall time.
Okay.
The fall meeting rather than the spring, although I know that they put some through this spring, so.
So can you take a look at it and see what you think we could put in? And if we go for 10, let's go for 10. And then
If we
Yeah,
go
we'll
for
get the
6.
price from these folks.
You know,
Just
I
say,
don't
would it
think,
be
no,
for
this
more?
is, this,
Okay,
and we really, we might go put another one right along in there, facing towards the road.
The street, Sandwich Road, you mean?
No. And this is the aerial site plan with the units.
The white spots. Yeah.
Yeah, so we could probably get another one right in, another building right in there.
So that would be 2 units.
That would be 6 units.
I mean, those 4 plus 2 more.
Those 4 plus 2 more would be 6, yes.
6. Okay, so we'll go for 2.6.
Did you follow that?
I couldn't see
Well, I
what,
like hers better.
Well, hers is color.
What
Yes.
about the other?
Yeah, so
10.
I think we could probably
do one more there.
do another building right in there.
No, they don't.
Is that rock movable?
If they can approve it.
Oh,
subject
yes.
to
Yeah,
that money,
okay.
we
So
don't
we
have to
probably
approve
could.
it.
I just,
You can't.
if they're so willing,
No.
you hate to
For
pass up the
CPC, right?
chance.
Isn't
Yeah.
that part of
Town
it?
meeting.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean,
That's what the CPC can-
boards change and moods change.
Yes,
Ten
we know that.
Holding it,
So that'd be good.
Joe's back on it, is it?
hold it for us.
Hmm?
so they
Joe
don't
Leggett's
take
back
it.
on the board?
Yes, he is. I didn't know he was on.
Oh, yeah, he's off for a while.
Yeah,
Joe Liggett.
Well, we better act quickly.
he's off what?
He's back on.
Okay.
That's all I'll say.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're very good people.
They are, they're all good people.
They're super people, but, you
Enjoy.
know, it's not an easy job.
No,
You've
All
seen
right,
it.
so,
I've done it.
You,
so we agreed, we'll try to go for 6,
Sure.
make it for
that'd be
6.
super. So we just need to,
So we'll
if
get
it
a.
costs 150 units, I mean, we're talking in here, unless we get something better, we just have to change the number to,
And it's,
Yeah.
that's simple, 1.5 multiplied by 1.5.
Yeah, and then we can get this modular,
well, if that, you know, that
Price,
might, for this time, that might not work anyway, but as long as we get going, so
We should
I'd
find
like
out.
to see us get on the fall meeting, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway,
Bring it to the damn floor.
Yeah.
All you
You know,
gotta do is
We've
get-
tried this
she
about
gets-
3 times and
yeah.
they haven't let us go to the floor with it.
Yeah, if she gets the quotes, we'll see what it says, and we can go with it
Okay,
either way.
okay, that's good. I was
Either way.
afraid we wouldn't, you know, because that's the thing they emphasize. That was the other thing that they asked about was, and I think we addressed it, was they were encouraging us to make the units entirely handicap.
They're designed to be completely handicapped
Okay.
accessible. All 4 that we
Okay,
proposed.
yeah, okay.
And then we could decide whether, maybe the other 2 didn't have to be, or they could all be.
Yep.
And I think probably that's the direction we should go.
Even the modifieds. Modifieds are really in demand more than the fully accessible. Yeah, we do need some fully accessible, but the modifieds, because you have transitioning. And, we do have a semi-modified version over in Redwood that works really well for the people that are not fully in a wheelchair but need it on occasion or need walking assistance. So it works out, I mean, we have many requests for them, and I feel like that having a nice walkway instead of a ramp, and then
And-
having all of the fully accessible fixtures.
Yeah, so
So
what
they can-
what are they getting, what are they not getting in the modified?
Modified, you don't have the fully accessible bathroom.
But that's the most difficult thing to change. So
That
you might
is
as
the
well put
most-
it in to begin with.
Yeah,
Correct, yeah,
I think the only other difference is the counters are lower
little lower.
in the
yeah.
fully modified,
Fully
fully
accessible.
Yes.
accessible. So, but it's, yeah,
And-
bathrooms are.
And need spaces underneath them too.
yeah.
There's not a lot to these units to begin with, so.
Right. So,
Okay, so we agreed we're gonna go with, modify the application for 6. She's gonna get the price for 6
Yep.
from the manufactured homes, and we'll go from there. The other question I have is, does the price include sewer hookup, water hookup, electrical hookup, and gas hookup?
yeah, not the price she's gonna get from them.
Yes,
No, so we
actually, there are
Oh,
the
they-
companies now that, when I met with somebody last Tuesday, and she, from CMDHE, she said that they have their own people, electrician, plumbers, you know, all fully
Gas,
licensed
electric,
per-
plumbers, whatever.
to fully hook up, soup to nuts, they do everything. They bring it, they set it up, they put it up, they put the whole thing together, and they also do all the hookups. Sewer, water, electricity, plumbing, gas, and they also do the foundation as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's real soup to nuts.
So they do the complete job.
Right, they mainly
Yes.
do more high-end homes, both of them, that's the only one around here. Canada, Florida do a lot of the more ranch style, or they do all over down in Florida, they do
You're
from
talking
A to
pro-
Z.
They do private stuff. This is more.
These people do a lot of, they just finished one down in Harwich and
Yeah,
the
so
one
they,
that,
once they do more, there'll be a market for it. So,
Yeah.
when you say they do the hookup, it's not the same as an existing building. Do we need, will they do hookup to the wherever the street is, or wherever the next hook line is? They can do, for water, sewer, gas, or do we need the we'll need the gas company and the
Oh,
sewer.
gas company brings their line in.
And the sewer
Yeah.
company and all that, the water.
Sewer is done, would that be done by that contractor? Water,
So we,
except for the phone connection.
so we.
and our electrical connections,
So we
because
need
they're all
to-
underground. So
Mhm.
they would, I
So we
do,
need to ensure that the price includes that, so we don't
Yep.
go.
That's what I-
We don't get an underestimated price from CPC, and then we can't go forward because we didn't get enough.
And then you have to inflate it for procurement.
well, I was going to actually reach out to the Inspector General's office because it's such a unique thing, it's very difficult to get a quote on this. So as far as like the actual physical work with, because we're buying now the building separate, off-site, and they're gonna put it together, so the procurement will be on, you know, we're getting two quotes,
To
and it'll be
purchase.
on making sure that seeing what a plumber and an electrician costs, our standard average price here is above the actual procurement cost. So I wasn't too concerned about that. But when I did, just to clarify that when I spoke to both of these people, I said, I need everything. I am green. I want hookups, the
Soup to nuts,
foundation,
turnkey.
soup to nuts.
Turnkey.
And
we
there's
want
3
to
phases
move
that
in.
I learned that there are 3 phases to modular homes. There's the foundation, design and build and delivery, and then the put together. So I said I need all 3 plus, these are the services, they needed to know the services that we had in town, sewer, water. Our electrical lines are buried, our connections are buried, you know,
As long as the 3 phases are move-in condition.
Yep.
Turn key, lock it up, be what, turn the key and you're in. If there's another phase that we don't know about, we need to know that so we can compute the price. Then the other thing would be permitting. We need to get an estimate on the permits for this.
I think somebody said not less than $10,000.
Yeah. Now, if you get a couple more units, it'll be 15 or something. Just as long as
Didn't I have a
we.
number in there for permits?
I thought you
Jim,
did, but I
was
don't
only
see
three-
it
It
here.
was only $3,000.
I don't, why is it not in this copy, or is it
It
in another
is.
page?
It
In the-
is,
in the front.
Back up behind that.
it is. But anyway, so we was
I know
like
it's
to
a-
underestimate.
Oh, okay.
Number.
I thought I read it right along here somewhere. Maybe it was the preliminary report that you put together, you had it out somewhere. That, and you probably then put it in the general conditions. So, but that's what it was, kind of like 3 or 4 thousand. I don't know. I'm appalled that it would be more than that, but I guess what do I know?
Yeah, it's on the first
Square foot.
It's on the first page.
Okay,
Per unit per square foot, so,
okay.
I think I looked it up, but
It's on the first page. You got it at 3,500, you got it in there.
I don't have it now, I know that I saw it
It's
before.
right there.
Oh, he's on a different page.
Oh,
Okay.
Building permits.
Okay.
This is the one we
Oh,
sent.
this is the, on the,
The one I have is the one you sent to the CPC.
yeah, but there's the CPC budget page. That's where he's finding that, not on the estimate I had.
Oh.
Go back.
Back, back.
Two back.
There you go. Okay, I knew I saw it somewhere. Okay.
You need those rubber fingers. Anyway, so if that has to be moved up to 12,000 or 15, whatever it is for 6 units, we'll figure that out. We'll get a quote from the building.
Because you really need to do, it would be good to have that info before August 8th.
Exactly. What we're talking about. We want all the info.
And before you jump off the subject, if you don't mind, I have one more question. Initially, we talked about, there was a $30,000 we were going to put in from the Wareham Housing Authority
Yeah,
And I had asked if I think we talked about perhaps filing an application with the Affordable Housing Trust.
right.
Because they have a ton of money.
Right.
Yeah.
Say what?
They have a ton of money
Yeah,
for housing, affordable housing.
yeah.
So I do have an application, it looks pretty simple. I'll leave it with you.
Okay.
And they meet twice a month, but basically they need to know someone's coming or
Or
they
they
don't
don't
meet.
meet.
Is it the same people on the,
No,
No.
no, it's not.
okay, so we'll go to Affordable Housing Trust.
Who's on that now? Steve Suey,
Steve
Sandy
Sue,
Slavin?
Sandy Slavin's there, and Peter Titlebaum. And I feel like there's a fourth one, but
There used to be anyway.
Anyway, so that's it. So what are you saying? Apply for the more,
no,
Last I
well,
was ran from the.
we put it in there as though we were going to
yeah, so you're
provide
saying
it.
put it in from them?
Well, that's, as a board, if that's what you want to do, it seems to make
I make a
sense.
motion to apply for.
I
as
mean,
much
it
money
seems
as
to
we
me you
get
can have
from-
that in your reserve more than,
Yeah, I'd rather have.
they have a pile of money
If
sitting.
we can do
Yeah,
that,
and
let's do it.
it's just been sitting there.
Let's see what this other numbers come out, permits and the other costs,
Yeah.
and if it comes out to more, we'll put in for the land trust for
It's not the land, it's not the
25,000.
land trust.
Or what you say, historical trust.
No,
Affordable housing.
Affordable housing
Affordable
trust.
Okay, yeah.
And why wouldn't we put in for it no matter what?
We should, so
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, let's find out what it is and we'll substitute 45,000 or whatever, 100.
CPC has 900,000 in the affordable, they have compacted
Mhm.
outright,
Okay,
and they have 900,000 in there now. And I believe Affordable Trust has more than that.
Really?
I'll get the number
I
exactly.
don't know that they
all
have,
right.
unless they've been given a lot lately.
I'll
Because
check
that-
with Sandy again.
That was the only, they're
So
virtually the
we're
only
agreed, we're gonna get the
distributions
number and put it in there.
that have been made by
Okay.
CPC to affordable housing, but
Some more water.
from the affordable housing, but it's
Okay.
to the affordable housing trust.
What do you think?
And
I just know the blue, just the blue one.
and nothing,
Oh, this whole thing.
I'll check.
zero, has come out of the other, out of the slush fund for affordable housing. It's about time.
Maybe I don't know. She did quote a figure when she was doing her own budget, which was 900,000.
That tracks is about what they receive annually, of which 10% of that is affordable housing, 10% is recreation, and 10% is historic,
So-
open space historic, and then 70% is discretionary,
Okay. No,
of which this year, or some years soon, that ought to go to affordable housing as opposed to historic and open space.
Well, it seems as though the attitude of these people is they do it if they could.
Good,
They seem to
Well,
be,
they-
really, they sound as though they weren't happy that this didn't get approved
Yeah,
last.
it's.
So-
It's about time.
Oh, sorry. I
so
don't
we're
really-
gonna get the new numbers and revise this here
Yeah,
for 6, and we'll have 6 from the modular delivered homes, and we'll try to get this, the Affordable Housing Trust to get a number from them before the 8th.
if you can get the numbers, at least,
No, can we get to the Affordable Housing Trust before the 8th, when we go to CPC? How do we,
well, why do you want to do that first?
so we get the number, we can get a number, can you give us a
Well, you
hundred?
have the number in here.
We
I
don't
mean,
have,
we're gonna ask them for 30,000.
And we
why
can
not
always,
ask for more? That's what I'm asking, if this thing goes
I
up,
don't, at this point, I don't know, I'm new at
we
this, but
haven't
it
got to
just
this
seems.
point yet.
No, I'm thinking about the application process with
Yeah.
CPC,
Okay, so
which seems an easier,
right.
deal.
So it's a steps, we haven't got to the first
Yeah.
step yet, so what I'm saying, and I think, is we're trying to get to the first step with a complete package. If this goes from, if it's 6 for 4, and it's gonna be 8 for 6, right?
well, they have a complete application.
Right,
At
right,
this
right,
point.
they don't
We're
have.
modifying that complete
That's what I'm
application.
saying.
And if we were to modify it after the fact with an infusion of cash from the Affordable Housing Trust, that doesn't undo anything we've done prior to that, in my mind.
neither does it to me. All I'm trying to say is let's get all on the same page. We get one package, if it's gonna be $800,000, and let's try to keep going instead of one at a time, go with simultaneously, go to the Affordable Housing Trust.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Hit them up for
Okay.
some money.
It's the middle
and
of
then we
July,
know-
to have that done by August 8th is probably ambitious.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't let the
No, no,
big
no,
picture go
let's,
further.
let's ask now to get a meeting so we can, if they get nothing else to do, and they can meet with us and they tell us how much money they got and they wanna give us 200,000 or whatever, let's do it. Because instead of waiting until town meeting or after this
Oh, no, we
CPC.
No, it wasn't-
definitely do it before
I
town
guess
meeting.
I just thought there was a process.
No,
And
the
I
process
figured
is
August
do it.
8th, we get this approved by CPC, and then apply to, of course, I was only talking about the 30,000 that we talked about, then going to to the Affordable Housing Trust in August, and asking them to contribute the 30,000. They, we'll already have the approval from CPC. I don't know, you all know better how it works, so
No,
I don't
you
know
make
how
the
it
dec-
works.
You tell me.
Here's my theory. I don't know how it works. I wanna do it. So I just say, let's go after it all from any source and all sources simultaneously and get everybody on the same page so that when we go to the selectmen with the approval from CPC, if they're the final approval, they know what the number is from Affordable Housing Trust. If it's gonna come in from two angles, fine. But let's get it in so when it goes to the selectmen for their process of reviewing and approving, we know all these pieces of the puzzle. that
When
are
are
coming.
they asking to see it?
The CPC?
No,
CPC?
selectmen.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think it's until late August or early September, but it's just.
When's
That's to
When's the
approve the
meeting?
warrant, but they.
Yeah, they look at
In
it.
previous years, they've kind of wanted to see it first.
Is that one that you all went in as a group and,
I don't remember. It's.
no,
I don't
I'm just
remember.
asking the question. I saw you all at a selectmen's meeting presenting your project,
Yeah,
Mhm.
and they gave you a lot of questions and they turned you down.
yeah,
So what you're saying, Bill, that occurs before, naturally before the warrant.
I-
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, so it'd be nice to get all the numbers before then. That's
Well,
what.
you have to get when we get the numbers, go to the next step. Can we
Why
get a
can't we
meet?
go together? We know what
Well,
we're
because
applying.
this is July what already?
Yeah, and August is coming around the bend already. And
So
time is
we can
precious.
apply for
yeah,
August, the
let's
meeting
try,
in
let's
August.
try for an
But
affordable
you've gotta
housing
get
trust.
this all together before we,
That's
how
what
can
I'm
we even
saying.
ask them? Oh, yeah, I'm not saying
I'm
leave it
trying to
till
get it
late.
together.
I just think you need one and the other and then go for it.
That's what, I think we're all on the same
I
page.
think so, yeah.
Let's try to be on the
Okay.
same page.
I think we are.
Okay, so we're gonna make an application, we're gonna try to get all the numbers we can
Yep.
to get a complete, up-to-date, informed application, so when we go to the selectmen, we're not looking around over our shoulder for something else.
No, I was
I don't think we
I was
are.
never thinking that at all.
I think we have our
Yeah, I
information.
think so.
We
Yeah.
don't have information
Right.
from modular companies.
Right.
I'm not,
Right,
I'm not optimistic that we're gonna get.
Yep.
really?
Really,
Why wouldn't they,
because they're horrible at response.
well, if
Oh, you
they
mean
are,
modular companies,
Yes.
really? I'll just keep on.
so what do they do, how do they operate? If they're in business.
Did you hear what she said? They're doing mostly high-end
Yeah,
residential.
well, okay, so we got the wrong company or something. It
Well,
must be
It's very
somebody that
difficult
does
to
our-
find, it took me a while to find these two.
And I've tried in my practice to have these guys respond to me.
Right.
And
Then if they're not, if there's nobody out there, that closes the door on it. I'm just,
Yeah, yeah, well,
But
I'm just
I-
assuming there's a door open there somewhere, and we're gonna try to get
I
the.
Well,
mean,
I think the ideal thing is at least you have the information, so if they start telling you that this is too expensive, you say you've looked at everything and this is the best way to move
and the
forward.
only way we
I
find
think it's a
out,
good informational.
the only way we
That's
find
what
out
we're
is to go
trying
out to bid.
Right.
That's the only way
And
we
that's
find out.
what we want to do is get.
What happens, Bill, when you go out to bid and it's higher? You have to look for more money?
No, you could just forget about it too. You can just go up to rebid
Yeah, we
and say
can-
we need
yeah.
more money.
Right.
Or
That's
or you
the-
negotiate the project down somehow.
Yeah,
Or we go back to affordable.
To one
trust,
unit.
housing. Okay, I don't want to belabor it on you, but I'll leave you this, because this
Okay.
is the application.
Oh, okay, that's good, yeah.
Okay,
Okay, and then this is the deferred maintenance plan. We're still aiming for rugs and windows coverings for regular hallways after they're completed and finished. We are almost finishing upgrading all CO2 and smoke alarms with 10-year model. We're just around the corner from this as well, just design and construct drainage for buildings 5 and 2, especially when we get a lot of rain. Just doesn't seem, it just flows right into those fronts of those buildings and does not drain well. Build a closet around the filing cabinets. Building 1 and now going to repair steps and handles due to the end of the use of life and railings and walkways, which are these two right here. Upgrade flooring in C14, A14. They both need to be upgraded. We have patched A14. We did offer her to move into A13 and she did not want to go, so we have to work around her. D21 leg of the wire from the T-step to the baseboard is not working, and we are actively getting that fixed as we speak. I said minor leak in big building because that's how the work order says, but they do tell me that it's not a leak, it's a condensation issue, but it still needs to be fixed. Upgrades to the Agawam community building, bathrooms, fencing, shrubbery on the Sandwich Road side. Issues with the bollard, and I will put in here issues with the bollards on building 2 and have them get on that right away. Again, I just left in here that the debris, we've actively used the town's pile for leaves because we had to stop during the storms and they stopped taking any of the natural debris, but we have pretty much finished that now. But I wanted to bring to your attention that we did use the pile at the town barn. They were very gracious to allow us. They didn't want us to overload it. We begin our yearly inspections on July 23rd with the Board of Health and the Wareham Housing Authority, and that concludes my infrastructure report.
Any questions? Motion on the infrastructure report?
So moved. Accept.
Move to accept by Bill,
I'll second it.
second by Eleanor. Any further discussion? All in favor? So carried. Business to come before the chamber. Do you think it's possible that we have a meeting before the 8th when we get this final numbers together? So we don't just walk into the CPC without a revised package with six.
Probably
units.
makes sense at least to have some sort of, I mean, you're either gonna have something from these
Right. We'll have,
Modular.
we'll have.
modular people,
Or
or we're
not.
just gonna do our own thing, and
Yeah.
we just, these
Yeah.
numbers are easy for you to
We'll
revise.
have a revised one of these.
I assume. Yeah, you're just gonna do 1.5 2 more times if you have the room, and then,
We'll do.
Yeah, 1.5 to whatever that number is.
yeah,
Yeah.
right.